Here we go again. Infatuation touches me when I thought that it would end. What's the old saying? What a difference a day makes. Recorded my video yesterday in good spirits. Very happy. Just chilling out, playing games. My newly installed games. And talking about how I know my cat's okay because he's humping me. That's a sign that he's all right. He's humping me. Um, and all was well while recording that video. I was doing great. But then all of a sudden, oh, I had to pick this game because it's a Frankenstein game with Tim Curry. By the way, as soon as I saw Tim Curry was in it, I was like, okay, doesn't doesn't matter if it sucks or not. But yeah, as soon as I start editing my video, my cat Shredder, he starts pacing around the house. He's trying to piss in the litter box. He's trying to piss in the other litter box. He's trying to piss in the dry cat food. He's trying to piss everywhere, but he's just little squirts coming out. So we had to go to emergency trip to the vet. Like $550. He hadn't even met his $250 deductible on his insurance yet. At least $250's out of pocket. But they haven't called me back. But they emailed me the blood test results and shit, and looks like he has a bacterial UTI. I thought it was a stress UTI, but they gave him an antibiotic just in case, since it's Thanksgiving weekend. So thankfully, should be working. And he had 3 doses of very heavy buprenorphine pain medicine, but right before I started recording, I tried to give him the 4th dose and turned his head and it squirted out. I don't know how much he got. Um, maybe he doesn't want it. I don't know. But I can't give it to him again for another 8 hours. I don't want to overdose him. But he seems all right. He's not squatting. It takes 24 hours for the antibiotic to kick in, so maybe it's already feeling relief. I hate for him to suffer, but he doesn't like medicine very much. Like one of those kind of like chill dudes that only smokes weed. He only likes catnip. All other medicines he doesn't like. He's very anti-medicine. He's a hippie. My cat Gabby, she doesn't like catnip. She's like one of those suburban housewives with a purse full of pills. Doesn't smoke weed, Takes all kinds of pills. She likes them. Um, but yeah, it's horrible. I spun out of control today. The world started spinning around me. It all happened at once. I went to pick up cat food at Target with my mom. Um, and then we went to return an Amazon package. We were parking. I got the email. No, wait. First, I went to return the Amazon package to the UPS store. Then, then this fucking big redneck guy starts screaming at somebody outside. You learn how to fucking drive, you blah 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 blah. Goes outside to yell some more, and it looks like he's yelling towards my mom. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to throw down. I have to fucking fight this guy. He's like 6'5", but he's yelling at my mom. Maybe he wasn't that tall, but he was definitely taller than my 5'9" bitch ass. But he was yelling at some old dude parked next to my mom, and my mom said the old dude like totally cut the guy off. That started my adrenaline pumping. And then when I got in the car, my mom was like, "Oh, we gotta go to Smoothie King because Smoothie King's in the same shopping center." And they just built that Smoothie King, and it gives us a little taste of home, a little taste of Bloomingdale Square in Barico, Florida. Maybe Bloomingdale Square is in Brandon, Florida. I don't know. I've never figured that out. I think it's Brandon, Florida. Because once you cross Bell Shoals, it's when you go into Bloomingdale West, and that's Brandon. I don't know. I digress. So yeah, we're in the Smoothie King, and I go to on my phone to see if I got Smoothie King points on the app. But then I see I have an email. I hadn't checked my email today yet, and it was the test results. I was like, why the fuck didn't they call me? And it just, I mean, he's a 19-year-old cat, so it's not going to look like perfect results. Thankfully, he's not anemic. He had pale gums. I thought he was anemic, but he actually has a high red blood cell count and a high white blood cell count. So he has an infection. Bad kidneys. We already knew that. Had that for years. Thyroid, almost on the threshold of high thyroid or not. I don't remember what else, but it's never good to look at your own or your pet's blood test results without consulting the doctor first. It's 4:30. They usually call me when they close, so I'll probably hear from them today, but I shouldn't have looked at that. So I thought he was going to fucking die yesterday. He has bad kidneys. He's 19 years old. You never know if he's going to fucking die or not. But yeah, that happened. And my mom's like, "What smoothie do you want?" Blah 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 blah. And then I start feeling my head's getting dizzy. I'm getting tunnel vision. The bell jar going over into my head. And I go inside Smoothie King, and my mom says, "Oh, I want some avocado toast." So I have to buy avocado toast, and then I get a phone call on my phone, doctor's office, asking me about getting my medicine. Like I was getting my medicine from. I like this. I was getting it from Lilly Cares. Lilly is the first $1 trillion medicine company, and they gave me my diabetes medicine for free. They delivered it right to my house. And it was their drug Zyprexa that they created as well that gave me the diabetes in the first place. So I liked the idea of getting my diabetes medicine from the people that gave me diabetes. I just hope, Philip, that you turn out better than the last experiment. But the flesh grew so kind of quid pro quo or some shit going on in my doctor's office. They no longer sign paperwork for Lilly Cares. I have to go through this federal subsidized program to get free medicine, and I don't like depending on the federal government, especially what's going on nowadays with the shutdown and the end of Medicaid and all that kind of shit. So I've been dreading talking to them, and I don't even hear what the lady's talking to me on the phone. People at the Smoothie King are talking to me, and then I have to go outside to talk to the people on the phone. Then I go in the car to talk to my mom, give her the avocado toast. She offers me a slice of avocado toast. I don't want avocado toast because I've been eating too much avocado toast. And then I start getting the heart palpitations. I spun out of control. I got dizzy. I just full-blown panic attack today. All hit me all at once. But yesterday was just hell. talk about I'm recording a video talking about how my cat's okay, and then all of a sudden things go wrong the moment I stop recording. Thank God they got him into the doctor. But yeah, the pain medicine seemed to help, but I guess he doesn't want it anymore because he sure did everything to not take it. He's just sitting here sleeping right down here, so until he starts squatting again, I guess give him half a dose if he starts squatting. I'll give him another dose his next after the 8 hours of the missed dose. I don't want him to be in pain, and 624 to 72 hours for the antibiotic to work, so
visible light is a particular energy wave, as is sound, electricity, and heat. Ergo, life itself is also an energy wave, a specific vibration. It is that simple. The mystery of life exposed.
I mean, game is interesting, but I'm starting to get sleepy, so we're gonna move on to the next game. All right, I need some action, baby. I need some action games. Thanks to Tyler. Some footage of this game on my old beta Saturn. He taught me you need a special code. I was complaining that this had green blood. You just need a special. You need to get a special menu. Get the red blood in this game, so I loaded up the red blood. Went straight into the red blood. Went straight into the save state, so you guys can see the red blood. Yeah, okay, now I'm feeling good. Now I'm feeling better. First game, that was a bit of a misstart. Now I'm feeling in the groove. Now I know why I play video games. Now I get it. This is way better than the House of the Dead remake on modern systems. I'd like to get. I had this. I might still have it. I don't know. Maybe my ex-girlfriend took it. But I had House of the Dead 2 and 3 on the Nintendo Wii. But I don't know where that went. It's expensive now, though. But should have had House of the Dead 1 on there, too. I think I first saw House of the Dead 1 AMC Regency 20 movie theater, where I saw a lot of new video games. And I remember seeing like, oh, this is the first like 3D game, this new style of polygons and shit, with some really good gore. I really like how the gore looks in this game. Blow pieces of the zombies' flesh off and shit. Blow off limbs. It's very exciting. And then I believe this was the very first Saturn game that I ever played in real life, IRL. My friend Alex Hager's house. I was back in high school, and you could get video games like for the Saturn and the Jaguar and all these expensive systems. I remember he bought a Jaguar for $5 on eBay. I bought my 3DO on eBay, my first one, for $30 with a whole entire case of games. What kind of deals you could get back then. But yeah, I remember playing this. He had Worms. We played his Jaguar. We played Rayman. I'm gonna play Rayman Jaguar on this playthrough. Just in honor of that. But yeah, it's the first Saturn game I remember playing. And it runs pretty good on this Bato Sata. Bato O'Rourke. Whatever happened to Beto O'Rourke? He was the great hope of the liberals. This is Gavin Newsom now. Gavin Newsom's the new Beto O'Rourke. I think Gavin Newsom would be a good president. He looks very presidential, like almost like a Max Headroom look. A Ronald Reagan, young Ronald Reagan, Max Headroom look. But a pinko commie liberal. I'm into the idea. I'm into it. One thing I like but don't like, it's just a conflict I have about Gavin Newsom is, I hate even to admit this, but you know, I guess this is more of a phenomenon in women, and it's socially accepted in women to have a morbid fascination in murderers. I just have a morbid fascination with skateboarder murderer um, Gator Rogowski. He brutally essayed and murdered his ex-girlfriend's childhood best friend. And I believe it was San Diego, California, in his apartment. There's a movie about it called Stoked, The Rise and Fall of Gator. But I just have a weird obsession with Gator. It comes and goes. But, you know, women have an obsession with Ted Bundy. You know, a lot of people were obsessed with Dahmer when the Dahmer Netflix show came out. You know, people are obsessed with serial killers, and I guarantee you that if Gator would have been able to keep going, he probably would have ended up being a serial killer the way he murdered this poor girl. But that was, yeah, I think he went to prison in 1990, and he's been paroled several times. But every time, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, he he rejects the parole. He won't let Gator out. He's keeping Gator in a cage. And I mean, if you research the story and realize what he did, he deserves to be in prison the rest of his life. But there's also a part of me that's like, you know, I want to see Gator walking free. I want to see Mark Rogowski, Gator Mark Anthony. I'd like to see him out in the world. I'd like to meet him one day. Supposedly, if he gets out, he says he's never skateboarding again. I mean, he's in his 50s, so I don't know if he even could skateboard again. I mean, I'm 41, and I wake up feeling like shit every day. I don't remember the last time I've had a day without taking Tylenol and ibuprofen 3 times a day. My body just aches. Maybe I need a new bed. But I mean, his biggest competitor, or I wouldn't call him a competitor, just his biggest contemporary, or I don't know, was Christian Hosoi, and Christian Hosoi still skates. I mean, he can't soar like he used to. I bet if they gave Gator an old school deck and put him on a vert ramp, he'd be able to pull off a few moves. But Gavin Newsom won't let him out. That's kind of what makes me think that Gavin Newsom might be a good leader, because he's able to make the tough decisions that I couldn't make. I mean, if I was in charge of it, I would throw caution to the wind. I'd let Gator out. Book him a skate demo the next day. I'm a sick fuck. But in leadership, we need someone with a good head on their shoulders who says, this rapist murderer should never see the light of day. But I don't know. I have a sick obsession with Gator. Sue me. I also have a sick obsession with Jew Wario. I don't know why. Just do. Can't help it. Being honest here. Maybe I shouldn't be honest. Maybe I shouldn't tell people this. I don't know. I have no filter. But it's not like I condone what these people did. I'm just fascinated by the story. And I just watched a lot of videos about it. I don't know. It's okay for women to be obsessed with true crime and serial killers and shit and fall in love with Richard Ramirez and all this kind of shit. But as a dude, I feel like I'm like creeper weirdo that I have these obsessions with these horrible people. But it's just really Gator and Juwario, so. I used to have a book I stole from Barnes and Noble, the Encyclopedia of Serial Killers, about all the serial killers. They got stolen from me by my kleptomaniac friend that I've mentioned on the channel before, Tasha Leitner. She stole it. I found it at her house one time because, like I said, girls are mostly obsessed with serial killers. I don't know why. But I used to steal so many books from Barnes and Noble because I don't know if this was even true or not, but in the 90s or the early 2000s or whatever, the word on the street was that Barnes and Noble has a no chase policy due to like insurance reasons. They don't want their employees hurting someone or their employees getting hurt, so they just let people go. They just let people steal that shit. I mean, it's just fucking paper, so they probably don't lose a lot of money and they just write that shit off. But I used to steal, just fucking fill my whole fucking backseat of my car with books. Just grab one stack of books, walk out the door, grab another stack of books, walk out the door, do that like 5 times in one sitting, and I would do it over and over and over again. So I had a great collection of books, mostly like conspiracy theory books and Noam Chomsky books, but some serial killer books, some occult books. I'd like to steal punk rock books, history of punk rock, any books with nudity, crime scene photo books. It's all kinds of books. And when I was in the 9th grade, I went to a magnet school. And a friend in the magnet school, an African-American fellow, named Lawrence Barnes III, LB. Lawrence Barnes III. And I remember looking at like his middle school yearbook, and it was like as thin as a magazine, because barely any kids went there. And I was like, this is a fucking rich people school. But it turns out Lawrence Barnes III, LB, my buddy LB, he was the heir to the Barnes and Noble empire. He is Barnes, well, his grandpa or something is Barnes of Barnes and Noble. So I was stealing from my friend. I was stealing from a black-owned business. That's not cool. But I didn't know back then. It was just fun to steal. And I loved books. I could give a shit about books now. I don't read books. They make me fall asleep. I was real hungry for knowledge when I was a kid. Well, I mean, there was really nothing else to do in class but read or draw pictures. I'm sure if I was in prison, I'd read a lot. You know, and that's what school is basically, prison. So yeah, I stole a bunch of shit from my friend. I regret that. It was a theater program I was in with him, and last I heard, he was going to all these Hollywood parties, hanging out with like Quentin Tarantino and shit. So you know, I didn't cause too much damage stealing his books. And one time we were in theater production class, and he accidentally shot through my hand with the air compressed staple gun. So I mean, if I knew he was rich, the heir of the Barnes and Noble family, maybe my family would have sued him. So I consider that all those stolen books from Barnes and Noble, I guess that's my settlement with my lawsuit against the Barnes family. I guess I can figure out a way to justify it if I can. I stole from Borders too, because like Borders was like Barnes and Noble, basically. So I just thought, okay, well, you can probably steal from them too, since they're like Barnes and Noble. So I stole from Borders quite a bit. Um, those are the only two places that I really felt truly comfortable stealing, just like a maniac from. Because this word of mouth urban legend, this no chase policy. But taught my friend Justin Cromer about it. I think they chased him one time, but he was sloppy. He got caught shoplifting all the time. So he's probably just being an idiot about it. But I remember one time, me and my friend Emily, we had just stolen a shit ton of books from Barnes and Noble. We found these magazines, and they came with little like things to hold records in, like a handbag that you're supposed to put LP records in. But we just opened up all the magazines, got all those LP record handbags, and just filled them up with books. Just kept going back and forth through her car. The back of her car was completely filled, like she was moving or something, with books. And we were almost home, almost to my house, and we come across the Circle. They called it the Circle. It was down the street from my house. It was a cul-de-sac, and you could buy weed there usually. We're like, let's see if we can get some weed at the Circle. And all of a sudden, we see the lights and the fucking cop lights in the back. Gonna get pulled over by the fucking cops. We're like, oh shit, we have like thousands of dollars worth of stolen books in the back of the car. We're fucked. But he didn't even look at the books. He was just like, I think you know why I pulled you over. I know why you're here. I know what goes on here. So I wouldn't come here again if I were you. And he let us go. So interesting story about the Circle. The band from First to Last was formed in the Circle where I used to buy weed. Um, the only remaining member was Matt Good. I think it was called First to Last back then, and then Matt Good went off to college and he formed From First to Last. So one sounded like Blink 182 and one sounded like fucking emo scenester shit. Scene music, as they used to call it in the early 2000s. That's what killed punk rock. Scene music. Yeah, Skrillex was the singer of that band. Eventually, at one point, I feel like Skrillex has overshadowed From First to Last. Most people haven't heard of From First to Last, but most people have heard of Skrillex. But I mean, From First to Last, they headlined Warp Tour, so that was the fucking dream when I was a kid. Headlining Warp Tour. We used to fucking torture First to Last, heckle them, piss on their car. My friend Brian would rough them up. He pissed in their car. One of us pissed in a cup and then poured it in the back seat of their car. That's what I remember. Because he was dating Brian's sister, one of the guys. This guy Scott. He wasn't even in the band anymore. Apparently, he had like $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, or 10,000 Bitcoin. That's probably worth millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and he gave it to someone for to order him pizza. So, you know, we could buy $5 Jaguars and Bitcoins for pennies on the dollar at one time, but things have changed. There was no way we could have known back then. I was thinking, how the fuck am I getting so far in this game? I've never gotten this far in the game, and in the menu that I turned the red blood on, I put it on infinite lives, so that's why I'm doing so good. I think this is my new favorite Saturn game, or one of them. This is the shit because I can keep playing, and it controls a lot better than the arcade version I have on my Batocera. So this is fucking awesome. I'm really enjoying this, but I'm gonna have to move on to the next game because I've been playing long enough, and I got more games to go. I got more games to do. Got to entertain the people. I think my last um, video got 15 views with of an hour long or more video, an average viewing time of 15 minutes. So, you know, people are really soaking this shit up and really, you know, I have quite a large audience. Not. Thought I'd switch things up a bit, something a little more colorful, something more girly, some girly stuff. Um, the Sailor Moon beat 'em up. In 2021, which that's confusing. Okay, 1995. Well, must be some kind of like updated in 2021. That's confusing. Van Presto. Deposit coin. Seizure alert. Flashing lights alert. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Tomorrow's the big day. I like her. I like the blonde. Tomorrow's the premiere of Stranger Things, season 5, the final season. How was that? Um, yeah, finally, after all this time, finally, I get my wish. I hope I can stay up late enough. It's 5 o'clock p.m. right now, and I'm already tired as hell. Stay up till 8 p.m. tomorrow to see it. So I'm just on a early morning rise schedule. I wake up at 7:30 in the morning somehow. I don't know what happened. I was in my nocturnal mode for a while. I was waking up at like midnight. Somehow I went back into the morning schedule. And I just don't. I mean, yes, I like the fact that I was able to go return my UPS, my Amazon package today. I like that I was able to go get the cat food at Target. But I'm just not meant to be in the sunlight. It just drains my energy. I feel a whole different energy of the moonlight than I do with the sunlight, you know. I'm a prima ballerina on a spring afternoon, but I change on into the wolf man howling at the moon. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Wolf man, party like the wolf man. Wake up, don't even know what the fuck happened. That's my bag, dog. That's my thing. I'm a fucking dog. I'm a wolf. I'm a lone wolf. Sitting here playing Sailor Moon all alone. With my cats. My Batosetta. God damn, do I love this Batosetta. I texted Scott yesterday. I was watching Woody Woodpecker cartoons on the 3DO. Because there's 3 rare 3DO discs that contain nothing but Woody Woodpecker movies or cartoons. I'm afraid to. I'd like to watch them and add commentary on the channel, but I don't want to get like copyright striked for showing full episodes of cartoons. I don't know if they're even public domain or not. I mean, they probably are public domain because that's probably why they're a 3DO game, because it's probably free to print them on 3DO, and someone had the bright idea, I'll just get these public domain movies and put them on this weird, expensive video game system and make a few bucks. But I'm not going to take the risk. Got a copyright notice for the music and Quarantine that was playing in the background. I called it Grunge Light. But I was able to find out the name of the band that way, which was good. And I looked up the song on YouTube and saved the music video. I really like that song. So they're described as an Australian alternative band. It's a great little ditty. Great little diddly. Great little P. Diddy. Yeah. Let's see what the name of that song is. I'll look real quick. I'm gonna beat these guys up. Seems good graphics. I like the graphics. I like the graphics here. I like the graphics here. Alright, it's in my video game playlist. I put it in the music playlist. I put it in my video game playlist. I have 2 video game playlists. Give me a moment. Video games. Wrong playlist. Right, it is. What is it? Lie Down Forever by Godstar. Lie Down Forever by Godstar. And I like what the lyrics are about. It's about just wanting to just not get out of bed and just lay there forever. I get that feeling all the time. But I'm really not able to because my cat tortures the shit out of me and I have to get out of bed. My cat Shredder, the one having health problems right now, had to go to the vet yesterday. He just started laying on my head last night, scratching me with his back claws and shit. Like, why the fuck is he laying on my head like this? And he just kept waking me up. And then I finally figured out, okay, this is where he likes to sleep on the bed. So he's just telling me, move over. This is my spot. So I moved over and he didn't bother me anymore. I just went back to sleep. So. But he wakes me up about every 2 hours. According to a video I watched, I think it was on YouTube or Facebook or something. Cats wake you up because they think you're dead, because they only sleep for a few hours or minutes at a time. Cat naps. When you sleep all night, they keep waking you up because they think you're dead. So he just thinks I'm dead, and I wake him up all the time thinking he's dead. So, you know, eye for an eye. We're just looking out for each other. But I don't know. I've been just having all these like false psychic visions. Like when I took him to the vet yesterday, I was like, I visualized in my head the doctor, Dr. Cody, coming in and giving him the euthanasia. I was like, that's exactly what's going to happen today. But then the vet tech came in and said, Dr. Cody is too busy, and Dr. Rachel just had a cancellation, so Dr. Rachel's going to do the full examination. So I was like, that vision was wrong. And then today, I right before I tried to give him his opioid medication, I had a vision that he's going to OD from taking the opioid. Well, that's kind of violent. And then that was a bad psychic vision too. I I missed the target. The opioid liquid just went out the side of his mouth, and he didn't get a dose at all. He seems pretty chill. He's just sitting here sleeping, so I guess he doesn't need it. Maybe it was for a reason. I, I hate to give him a medication he doesn't need. It's an extremely powerful drug. My cat Gabby was on it, and it gave her horrible diarrhea. She can't. She don't want you to. She don't want people knowing that, but yeah, she got really bad diarrhea off of it, and she was on it for a while because they gave her 3 months to live. So I thought she was like in a hospice situation. So I was just like, well, just give her strong painkillers and let her live out these 3 months without any pain. But 3 months went by, and she had diarrhea the whole time. So I thought that was just the cancer, that she had pancreatitis. So I gave her all this diarrhea medicine and all this shit, but it was the opioid that gave her the diarrhea. And she took it again when she hurt her leg, and once again she got the diarrhea, so I had to stop giving it to her. But thank goodness Dr. Cody got her off the junk, and he put her on gabapentin, and she had more walking problems. So she's on gabapentin and tramadol. Tramadol is is like a weak opioid. It's like a synthetic codeine, so not too strong. She seems to handle it well. But that other stuff, it'll knock you out, boy. It'll give you diarrhea. I think they give it to like junkies to get off of heroin. That's what it is. Buprenorphine. It's like a different methadone, I guess. I've read things with junkies saying they need their buprenorphine. So, but when cats are in acute pain, it does seem to help, but should be taken in moderation. And Shredder um, doesn't start squatting again, I think he might be done. I think maybe he only needed 24 hours worth. Oh, the vet still hasn't called me back. It's 5 o'clock. All right, we're gonna move on to the next game. Still got more games to go. All right, I had to play some Rayman for the Jaguar. It's out of this memory of going to Alex Hager's rich people house in Indian Hills and playing Saturn and Jaguar. Great memory I have. I just grew up. I had my Super Nintendo, but my window of the world and the world of gaming were websites and YouTube and shit. Get these magazines. I subscribed to one called Game Players, which I think was the best video game magazine of the 90s. I would just look at all these wonderful games, just wondering what they were like on these obscure systems like the Jaguar and the Saturn that I know I'd never get. That It was like a dream come true to finally play the Jaguar and the Saturn for the first time. I mean, little did I know it. By the time I was at the ripe old age of 41, I'd have this Batosera. I'd be, have them all. Have it all. I have it all. Well, these controls are very responsive. Made me think of the game Zool. It's Chupa Chips. I um, snagged a few Chupa Chips left over from Halloween at my mom's house today. I forgot to bring my nicotine lozenges to my mom's house, so I started woofing down Chupa Chips. Chupa Chips, in case you don't know, are a European lollipop. Very good, very exotic flavors. And there's a game called Zool. Kind of makes me think of this game, and it's just littered with blatant Chupa Chip advertisements. Chupa Chips. I don't know. Leave in the comment below how to pronounce that shit. Very colorful. Shows off the color palette of the Jaguar. Jaguar is a great 2D system. It was in that in between stage of 2D and 3D where 2D looked real good, but the 3D left some to be desired. I mean, Alien versus Predator, Doom. Well, I guess those aren't technically 3D. It's the 3D. It tricks you into thinking it's 3D, but it's really 2D sprites. But like the fighting game, like the fake Virtua Fighter, supposedly made by the Virtua Fighter creator on Jaguar, looks like shit. A lot of people say Saturn 3D games look like shit. I don't think that's true. Like Panzer Dragoon looks really good. Burning Soldiers look really good. But I guess the 2D looks so good that it overshadows the 3D. But apparently the 3D on the Saturn was just an afterthought. They put the 3D engine in there at the last minute, try to keep up with PlayStation, but 3D on PlayStation looks like shit, I think. N64 is when the 3D era truly began, if you ask me. There's barely any 2D games on the Nintendo 64 at all. I'm so stressed out. I've had such a bad couple of past few days. Had illness that I feel like I'm just like talking, but I'm not saying anything. Like, you know, when you're like reading a book, you've realized you've read like 20 pages, but you haven't comprehended a single sentence you've read. That's how I feel about everything I've said on this playthrough so far. I'm just having diarrhea of the mouth. And I remember I did mention something about diarrhea, so I guess I am comprehending some of the things. But I feel like I'm even mumbling. That who's ever watching might need to put on subtitles to even understand what I'm saying. I don't know. I guess I'm disassociating, having kind of an out of body experience. My mom says it's her fault because she never taught us as kids how to deal with trauma well enough. But I mean, even if she was a fucking expert, even if she was like a trauma specialist, no amount of coaching in the world could help me deal with the trauma I went through as a kid. And I know I sound like a brat, like bullshitter saying that, but trust me, I went I went through some serious fucking shit. No kid should ever have to go through. So bad I can't even mention it. No, I wasn't molested by a Catholic priest or anything like that. It's much more bizarre. Something typical in American society is being molested by a Catholic priest. It's much more. You'd never even guess. But I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to bring that ugliness into the world. That can stay locked in my mind. But it was just one thing after another. Never a dull moment in the Halstead house. So she told me I needed to practice the art of not giving a fuck. And I told her, honestly, I'm telling you, I really don't give a fuck about anything except for my pets and my family. That's that's why I'm freaking out. Is because my cat got sick. Just a few months ago, my other cat stopped walking. So, my what I'm dealing with. But trust me, I've definitely learned the subtle art of not giving a fuck. All right, we've all seen this before, but sometimes I just want to play a game just to play it. Sometimes I just want to play a good dual stick shooter. Um, if it weren't for this game, there probably would be no Mortal Kombat. Because John Tobias worked on this game before he did Mortal Kombat. And that's kind of what normalized, demystified the idea of having graphic violence in a video game. Is that he'd already done this game. Those body parts all being chopped up and shit. So it wasn't like out of the question of having graphic violence in Mortal Kombat. They just thought, well, we've done it before. The way that fatalities started in Mortal Kombat was at the very end, if you lost to Shang Tsung, he'd chop your head off with a sword. So they had the animation of every character getting their head chopped off with a sword by Shang Tsung. And then just for shits and giggles one day, Ed Boon decided he was going to show everyone Johnny Cage uppercutting someone's head off with that same Shang Tsung decapitation animation. And the people were like, I think you've got something here. They already had the plan at the end to get in one extra hit when the person was dizzy, because he liked that idea from Street Fighter. You can get the player dizzy, Street Fighter, and give him an extra hit. But this Johnny Cage Shang Tsung fatality experiment led way to them adding fatalities to every character. Except for Shang Tsung, ironically. Shang Tsung does not chop your head off when he beats you. I've seen the animation, though. It's pretty cool. They should have left that in the game. Um, just look at it as a reward for making it all the way to Shang Tsung. And to make Shang Tsung seem more evil. But I guess in part 2, they made it so you can fucking rip out your fucking soul. So He's evil enough, I guess. Yeah, I remember after Mortal Kombat, after video game violence, after that kind of thing. You never know what game was going to show up at my local Chuck E. Cheese. I remember playing this game for the first time, and I was like, whoa. It was like a Super Nintendo game and a Nintendo game, but they toned down the violence quite a bit, and I never even played it, but I never remember seeing like all this blood and gore in the screenshots, in the video game magazines. But I was pleasantly surprised by that. You see all that eyeballs and body parts and everything. Some serious gory shit, but it's all part of the action. But Mortal Kombat, I guess what makes it different, what made it so controversial is that it's like, okay, you've won the fight, now murder your opponent. Like that's how they broke ground. Um, they didn't even think anybody was going to figure out the fatalities. They didn't tell anyone about them. They just wanted everybody to learn it on their own, and they didn't think anyone was going to learn it on their own. But even after like one day of testing it out in a Chicago arcade, people were already figuring out the fatalities. So that didn't exactly go to plan. I want to get more Mortal Kombat arcade collection footage on a future playthrough, but right now in my life, I'm just kind of over it, not feeling it. So much anticipation, so much preparation, so much everything. It's just like burnt me out. Like I said in my last video, I'm in the next season of my playthrough videos. We are not talking about Genesis controllers or Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection anymore. That was a phase of this channel. Can't go on forever. But yeah, this just feels good. It's like the bubble wrap effect, the bubble wrap, popping bubble wrap video game effect. I'm just sitting here popping bubble wrap in the setting of a Running Man ripoff with RoboCop catchphrase ripoff thrown into the game as well. I'll buy that for $1. But yeah, sometimes you just. I mean, I don't do this just to make videos. This is my game time too. When I would play games I wouldn't quite normally play. Usually play. I mean, when I'm not recording it, I'm like beating Donkey Kong or some shit. You know, it's been a long time, days and weeks beating Donkey Kong, really getting into it. But I'm waiting on that next big game to get into. But right now, um, I'm just kind of enjoying the variety of my Bactocera, one little taste at a time. Supposedly, the Steam machine is going to cost over $1,000. Looks like I'll be a Steam Deck guy for a while. That's okay. Love my Steam Deck. One of the best ideas I ever had getting a Steam Deck. The only mistake I made was I thought that I'd be able to install the emulators myself, but no, back to Sarah. That's the way to go. Batocera. I'm still sad about my old Batocera being destroyed, but if I didn't destroy my old Batocera by accident, I wouldn't be playing this Batocera, which is much better, and I can add new games on it. So, gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. But I was I had forgotten that my Batocera copy of Wave Race was the only time I'd ever unlocked Glacier Coast on a copy of Wave Race in my entire life. So, no longer have Glacier Coast unlocked on any of my Wave Races. And I've spent hours and hours on so many different platforms trying to unlock Glacier Coast. I think I could probably unlock it on my Switch because of the new, or my Switch 2, because the new Switch 2 controller has such good thumbsticks, and that's how I unlocked it on the Batocera, is the thumbsticks of the PS4 controller. Just give me enough extra turning ability that I was able to have a competitive edge and unlock Glacier Coast. But spoiler alert, Glacier Coast sucks. I mean, I had played Glacier Coast before because I rented Wave Race from Blockbuster, and someone had already unlocked it who rented it at Blockbuster. What a gamer they must have been too! A brand new style of control, a brand new style of game. Only renting it for the weekend, and they unlocked the most expert level and the most expert difficulty. We had some great gamers in the Bloomingdale subdivision. Probably a little bit older than me. I mean, I got my NES. Um, I'm pretty sure I was 4 years old. Um, Maybe 3.5. I don't remember. So I got the NES when I was real young, and I got the Super NES when I had just turned 8 years old. So that was my time with the NES. But these kids that are a few years older than me that spent their childhood and maybe even their teenager years or middle school years or whatever playing these impossible NES games before the Game Genie, before difficulty levels, before all this stuff, when that's all they had, they better be good at it. They're forced to get to that next level. I mean, the human possibility is limitless. It's only the limits we put on ourselves. So this group of kids, just a few years older than me, just are better gamers, and they're able to unlock Glacier Coast in one weekend. When it took me 28 years, yeah, 28 years to finally unlock Glacier Coast, kind of by cheating by using a different style of joystick. So, but I said I was going to quit this at Mutoid Man, and I already beat him. I was too busy jibber jabbering. All right, I wanted to play this game. Um, Tested it out the other day when I was looking through all my arcade games, and didn't make the cut to the must-play arcade games that I kind of I made that video private anyway. Great games played in it though, but I forgot what I said, but I shouldn't have said it, so I made it private. But this game did strike me. I think maybe the music or something. It was very exciting. I was like, I'll go back to this game. I gotta throw this in mix. I don't remember what exactly excited me about it, but it really excited me. I think it's the sound effects. Yeah, it's the sound effects. Sound of machines. It's a cacophony of noise. No music even. It's a cacophony of noise. For instance, I want to just shut the fuck up and just listen to this crazy ass noise. Oh, there's a little bit of music. Do people still play noise music? I went to the International Noise Music Festival in Miami because this scam artist Justin Rohde pretended like he was gonna let me play shows and go on tour with him, but he only let me play one show, and it was just him to be able to use my car to get down to the International Noise Convention. But I got the impression from all the bands at the Noise conference, it's like these people aren't musicians, but they just want to be musicians, but they're not willing to put in the effort of actually learning how to play an instrument. So it's all style over substance. Actually, the guy who organized the International Noise Convention every year had Noise Night at Churchill's in Miami. Sort of an elder noiseman. He was actually voted in Spin Magazine as worst band in the world. So that's kind of gives you an example of what noise music is. But I think that it does open up a door into, if you are like, if you do know how to play an instrument and you get into noise music, it's good for like to add a little flavor, to add some noise elements into your whole repertoire, but not have it all noise. Just like have some weird far out guitar solos that aren't really scales or something, like Nirvana did or something. Like this Die Spitz band I've been talking about, they say that they're part grunge, part alternative, part punk, part metal, part noise band. But they're definitely not a noise band because they're really good at their instruments. But they do add some like effects and stuff that take to the next level. So I think just like getting into noise music, but still being a musician, just not a noise musician, it does add a little flavor to your musical ability. But just to be a straight up noise musician, that's just, to me, that's saying I'm too lazy to learn my instrument. Right, yeah, just in the tradition of Dennis Miller, it's news to me. I wanted to throw in a stinker at the end. It's for shits and giggles. I forgot the funniest thing that happened at that International Noise Convention. Um, there was some country bands playing in the same show. And I remember a country musician looking at the shit that was going on. I think it had carried out into the parking lot. And he turns around to his friend after taking a good look at it. And he looks to his friend and he says, "Art sucks." That was one of the best things I've ever heard. Art does suck. Art sucks. All right. I haven't played the game demos. I haven't looked at all this, but this is other stuff. And this just blew my mind. Look at this. You can read the entire book of Frankenstein. Read the whole book. Have you seen Frankenstein on Netflix? I'd call that art, and that doesn't suck. That's some good shit. That Guillermo del Toro, he's not quite Stanley Kubrick, but he's almost Kubrick level. His attention to detail and his vision and everything. He's quite an artist of our time. He's one of the greatest living filmmakers of our time right now. And I had to read Frankenstein in college, so of all the Frankenstein movies I've ever watched, it follows Frankenstein the book more than any other movie I've seen. Like it's just like the book. Except it missed one of my favorite lines from the beginning of the book, where Dr. Victor Frankenstein is talking to one of the people on the ship that he's narrating the story from. And somebody says that they're trying to figure out the meaning of life. And Dr. Frankenstein says, "Oh, you have that disease too?" And that was really really poignant line to me because that's all I cared about when I was well, that makes me feel like I'm very well endowed. Um yeah, I was just always trying to figure out the meaning of life when I was young. I remember taking one too many Adderall, hanging out with my friend Ian. I forget his full name. Yeah, Ian. He was a metalhead from Virginia, and he moved to Tampa just because of the death metal scene. But he's also into punk rock and stuff. So I remember, we were all on this Adderall, and and I was like really peaking, and I was like, "What is life? What is this whole thing called life that we have going on?" And he's like, "Shut up! I hate stupid questions like that." I was like, "Yeah, he's right." Because that was kind of my dad's as a philosophy professor. That was kind of his whole bag was trying to figure out the meaning of life. But he was a nihilist, so he believed in nothing. So it was kind of weird. Kind of academia is its own little enclosed world with their own celebrities and their own sense of self-importance. When it's really, as far as everyday life goes and the meaning of it, you're just indoctrinating a bunch of late teens and early 20 somethings. And in my dad's case, probably trying to have sex with them too. So know your role. You're not that important. I remember when I first found out about the CD 32, the Amiga CD32, and how it wasn't able to make it in the United States. It only came to Canada and Europe because of copyright issues. I thought, wow, we missed out on a 32-bit system. I think some people call it the first 32-bit system, which is wrong because the first 32-bit system was the FM Towns Marty, Japanese exclusive. But I guess the first Western 32-bit system is this Amiga CD32, and it shows. I mean, it's just basically an Amiga with the CD-ROM games on it, so it's shitty computer games. But then it just kind of, blows you away with that it has the whole fucking Frankenstein and the Odyssey and Michelangelo paintings and shit like that. That was the beauty of the whole idea of these multimedia machines with CD-ROM technology is like, oh, this is, you can have an encyclopedia all on one disc and all this stuff like that. It was very, very exciting prospect. But then the internet comes along and it kind of makes it all passe, passing fad. I thought it'd be the next big thing, but the internet comes along, changes everything. So, but I really look fondly back on that period of time in video games, and I play it a lot. Play these kind of games a lot, even though they're very disappointing usually. I don't even know how to get back to the main menu on this, so I can't even check out more demos. I'll restart this sumbitch. Yeah, I restarted. Here's the Amiga CD32 logo. Please wait, loading the CD-ROM. Press the red button to proceed. Yeah, they had weird buttons on the CD32. PD games. What's a PD game? Pre-production game? Extreme violence. Thought about playing Galaga, but I saw extreme violence. I can't say no to that. I feel like I just sounded like Christian Slater right there, like, Christian Slater line. Can't say no to that. Because I'm Jason Dean from Heathers. Misled youth, obsessed with violence. Extreme violence, in fact. I'm working on my Jack Nicholson. I watched somebody, I think it was Kevin Nealon, interviewing Christian Slater, and he's like, I remember when you were big in the movies, and a lot of people would compare you to Jack Nicholson. And he said, well, that's because Jack Nicholson was my favorite actor, and I was basically just imitating Jack Nicholson in all my roles. So at least he's honest. I like Christian Slater. Gleaming the Cube, just fucking legendary. Pump Up the Volume. And of course, The Wizard, which I watched today. It's all my favorite interests. Like, got broadcasting and punk rock and Pump Up the Volume. You got skateboarding and Gleaming the Cube. And you got video games and The Wizard. Christian Slater has had a movie about all my favorite things. This game isn't extremely violent at all. What a misleading title. Red button once again. Go back to some more game demos. Degeneration. There's a lot of games on this. Oh, there's Zool. Okay, we got a nit on Zool. I was talking about Zool. I was talking about Chupa Chips. There's even more games. But I was talking about Zool, so I'm going to press the reset button and hold down the fast forward button. What? Why is it so cryptic to play Zool? What is the reset button? What the hell? I'm gonna figure this out. I want to play Zool. I have to play Zool in a different format. Okay, one more try. We'll just play Zool on something else. Okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna try to find a more more playable form of Zool. You don't have to do some kind of weird shit to just play Zool. Perfect. I got a Super Nintendo and I'm playing with a Super Nintendo controller. That's interesting. It's made by Gremlin. I thought Sega bought out Gremlin in the 1980s. Interesting, man. That's fucking interesting. Easy, of course. 5 continues, even though I don't think I'll end up playing this for more than 5 minutes. But I just, I was talking about Zool, I was talking about Chupa Chips. I had the opportunity to play Zool. I thought I was going to do it, but we're playing Zool here. I don't like the controls. Jump is Y and B is shoot. I don't like that. Everybody knows Y is shoot, B is jump, but it's an interesting soundtrack. See, Chupa Chips. Chupa Chups. Chupa Chups. I knew I was pronouncing it wrong. Chupa Chups. Chupa Chups. Chupa Chups. Really good lollipops. I'm going to eat some more tonight. Right now I'm sucking on a nicotine lozenge, but probably afterwards I'm going to enjoy myself a Chupa Chup, thanks to the clever marketing of Zool. Zool's okay. I don't know why I compared it to Rayman. Rayman's way more colorful, way better level design and shit. Platformer, I guess. Colorful platformer. That's about as far as the comparisons of Zool and Rayman go. I mean, it's kind of a run and gun even. All you have in Rayman is a magic glove. I'm sitting here shooting in the land of Chupa Chups. Zool. Yeah. I actually really got to pee right now. So, I'm exhausted. But I think I needed to exhaust myself. I needed this. Wonder why I do this? I need this. The only way I can collect my thoughts. Some Carl Jung shit. I think that's who said, like, my mom was saying it. My mom really wants me to write a book. And she said, like, Carl Jung said, if you're creative and you don't get the creativity out, you're going to go crazy. It'll turn into a neurosis instead of creativity. This is just my way of avoiding neurosis. But at least it's not art, because art sucks. So I'm just trying to be creative without entering into that suckage world of art. So Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And until then, I'm Jerry Springer, and this is my final thought. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye-bye.